the leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
You are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president will...
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
Hey, I'm Vito.
And we want to welcome everybody here to the Vito and Vito Show right here. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com, and give us a follow at Vito and Vito Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Vito, explain to the people what they are listening to. Break it down for us.
Two college-age millennial conservatives out of Brooklyn, the liberal hellhole, Brooklyn, New York. We are defending the rights, liberty, freedom, free markets, conservatism, baby, right here where liberals reign.
Did you just say conservative, babe?
Did I say babe?
I think so.
I don't think so.
They say our love won't pay the rent. Little Sonny and Cher to get you started here on the Vito and Vito Show. Yes, we're bringing you the best in conservative talk, and that's that's self-given. I gave ourselves that title because we certainly deserve it. You know who doesn't deserve a title? You know who doesn't deserve to be a human being in the same species as us?
Madam Secretary.
Madam Secretary, Princess, Tyrant, Hillary Clinton. Hill Dog. Because she looks like a dog, so I call her Hill Dog. Some might find that offensive, but frankly, Vito, I can care less. I don't care. This is not the show for political correctness. Hillary Clinton is a disaster. I cannot believe what we saw today at the Benghazi hearings.
Well, Trey Gowdy went after. I love Trey Gowdy. Let's just get that out of the way. I love
Vito,
Trey
keep it in
Gowdy.
your pants.
But man, talk about politicizing, all about politics and politicizing the committee. That's all the Democrats are talking about. And you know who made this about politics in the committee? The Democrats. Especially
absolutely.
Representative Cummings. Oh my God.
First of all, what a name. Second of all, that guy is the only one who is making things political. Elijah Cummings should be embarrassed after what we saw. He should be embarrassed. Because that entire time he was up there, he could have asked legitimate questions about Benghazi, where 4 Americans died. But instead, he was too busy trying to score Clinton cash. And campaign donations and campaign endorsements from the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, and the rest of her posse. Mm-hmm. And not just him, but a lot of Democrats up there were trying to do the exact same thing.
And all the Democrats, you see they're trying to protect Hillary when they constantly was talking, no questions. They're trying to protect her by taking up all their time just talking and rambling on, saying how much this is a witch hunt, this and that. I was like, listen, Cummings is supposed to interrogate the witnesses.
Right.
He was interrogating Trey Gowdy, especially at the end of the whole thing.
At the end of the hearing, yeah.
I
did.
Hearing,
I saw it.
They're going on about Trey Gowdy. Like, why didn't you release Blumenfield? What's his name?
You are the most unprepared co-host in the history of radio. I just want to put that out there.
Completely forgot his name.
And everyone's going to hear that. You are the unprepared co-host.
We'll cut it out.
This is live. But this is some crazy
What's
stuff.
his name?
Huh?
With the emails.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The issue here...
Oh, yeah.
But in all honesty, what we saw here was that when Elijah Cummings was making this a political matter, when he was going on and attacking Trey Gowdy, at the expense, you have to sit there and ask yourself, just what is it that our political leaders should be fighting for? Should they be fighting for campaign donations and campaign notoriety like Elijah Cummings and the rest of the Democrats on that panel? Should they be fighting for endorsements from the Clinton Foundation, or should they be fighting for the truth? Should they be following the lead of Trey Gowdy and trying to dig deep into just what exactly it is that Hillary Clinton doesn't want to speak about? What is she hiding in Benghazi? And it's not just her. It's a bigger issue here. It's a bigger issue, and nobody seems to want to grasp this aside from the conservatives in the House who are trying to find the truth in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I was saying before...
Where was she?
Cummings was making this whole thing about politics, and he was interrogating Trey Gowdy when he brought up, he said, even other representatives were saying to Gowdy, I want all of these emails released on record. Why do you want to release, like, Blumenthal's records? Why do you want to release his emails and not anybody else's? And Trey Gowdy said, listen, guy, these are Hillary's emails. People don't understand what's happening in this committee, and they're part of the committee. One representative, his name slips my head. There's too many congressmen. But he was saying how, I don't know about this, he wasn't calling investigation, he was saying how this was criminal and this and that. And Trey Gowdy was making a point that this is an investigation. They're not prosecuting anybody. This is not a prosecution. So make sure you know what you're talking about before calling out the chairman and calling the Republicans saying this is a witch hunt. This is an investigation, not a prosecution. And that's what one of the congressmen were going on and on about.
Well, I find it to be interesting because, to me, the biggest thing about the Hillary email scandal, in regards to Benghazi, because there's a lot more, is when this idiot says, Hillary Clinton I'm talking about, an idiot, says straight up that she doesn't use her emails to do business. Hillary Clinton doesn't use her emails? Hillary, we're talking about the woman that wiped out 30, 40, 50,000 emails in an attempt to hide her shame, her past, her deceitfulness. She doesn't use email to conduct business? What is she living with, a telegram in her home?
She said most of my work wasn't done on emails, which I find hard to believe that, that she deleted thousands in her server. If she doesn't do most of her work on emails, then try to explain the thousands upon thousands of emails that she sent. And they had detailed time. They were catching her in so many contradictions and she was just avoiding every question.
Yeah, I mean, I loved how she says she doesn't recall if they're because she doesn't recall if they had a consulate in Benghazi. What?
Some Secretary of State.
You're a Secretary of State. How don't you recall if you had a consulate in Benghazi?
Well, how about this? Two staffers were emailing each other saying that they were speaking with Hillary earlier in the workday and said that Hillary said, "Do we even have a presence in Benghazi still?"
Unbelievable.
Like, you don't know this?
You don't know?
Yeah, her whole opening statement was how she knew Ambassador Stevens and all these people and how they were great and how much she was harping on.
She said that she was there to honor the lives of the 4 Americans that died.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was going on how Stevens, how they trusted him. They went off of what he said because he's been there so many times and he knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And they're going off of his word. And then somebody brought up, like, okay, what about like these 600 attempts that he wanted backup and extra security? Mm-hmm. So those never got to her desk?
Those never got to her desk. I mean, you're sitting here as a woman, Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. You're in a very important position in the country. And you don't recall if you had a presence in Benghazi, in Libya, where a civil war was brewing, where an ambassador by the name of Chris Stevens was asking for backup numerous amounts of times, and you refused to send backup?
And she kept changing her answers. Like the first email said they're going to send Stevens in for about 10 days. They said, well, was it 10 or how long did you keep him there? Because he was there for a while. And then she said, well, it was 10 days, but that could change. We went off what he wanted. And I said, well, his email said he only wanted to stay in for a couple of days, but he was there for much longer.
Yeah,
and she's like, well, you know, we kind of went off what he said. We trusted what he was saying. You know, like he was in charge.
Mm-hmm. It's baffling because when you look at this entire perspective in terms of what the Secretary of State is supposed to do, they're supposed to be protecting the country. Because, again, one of the functions of government, and we've continued to defend this point of view, is that the government is not supposed to be a handout machine. The government is not supposed to be giving out subsidies and special favors to rich corporations. The government is not supposed to be arbitrarily drawing race lines and wealth lines and class warfare. No, the government's supposed to be protecting your rights. And Hillary Clinton should have been protecting the lives and the rights of those 4 Americans who died in Benghazi, but she wasn't. She wasn't. She was too busy trying to deflect questions away from her, and this should shed light on her character. Not only was she the former Secretary of State, this woman is looking to become the President of the United States. How in the hell are you supposed to be President of the United States and you can't even do this? How could I? People talk about Donald Trump. Oh, do I trust him with the nuclear button? Do I trust Donald Trump with nuclear weapons? You think I trust Hillary Clinton making decisions with nuclear weapons? Are you kidding me? Look at her track record. The woman restarted relations with Putin and the Russians. And now they're taking over the entire Eastern Seaboard again.
Cuba, Iran, you see the whole administration just the same.
And now you have this in Benghazi. It's the same. Mm-hmm. It's the same throughout. I also want to know. And we're going to get back to Benghazi in just a second, and Hillary Clinton. But I want to talk about Barack Obama. Where's the president in all of this? Susan Rice comes out, all the Sunday morning talk shows. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go back in time. Back to the Future. Because I know it's the Back to the Future anniversary. So let's go. Let's hump in our DeLorean and go back in time. Susan Rice comes out on all the Sunday morning talk shows and says that the attacks on Benghazi had nothing to do with terrorism. Had nothing to do with 9/11. Had to do with the YouTube video. Debunked after thorough investigations.
Or is that YouTube video?
YouTube video. Debunked. Hillary Clinton, the first time she was investigated by the Benghazi committee, made a very famous line that I think that every Republican running against her, even Bernie Sanders, that crazy crackpot socialist, should hold up a big sign at his campaign rally that says, Hillary Clinton, in quotes, at this point, what difference does it make? You're the Secretary of State, and you're asking me what difference does it make? Well, we're trying to get to the bottom of the Benghazi committee, the Benghazi findings, the Benghazi incident. I want to find out what happened. What difference does it make? You were the Secretary of State. You're supposed to be badgered up and down. This was happening on your watch, and she even accepted responsibility today.
Right, but she doesn't know what that word means, obviously.
No, she doesn't. Which is more baffling as time went on. Maybe it's because, I don't know, Vito, her makeup was running into her brain. Maybe she's too much of a drinker or she does a lot of crack. I don't know. But Hill Dog was messing up today. Because, man, oh, man, she was struggling in trying to find answers. She was struggling in trying to answer herself, and she was talking in circles. Yeah.
They caught her. They were talking about, she told the American people there was a YouTube video that did this while the attacks were still going on. They have the emails, they have all the times, everything set. Then she emails less than an hour later to her family and close ones there was a terrorist attack. She told Libya and people in the Middle East that we know this was a planned Libya attack. And she says, well, no, I said they were both attacks. Well, yeah, what do you think this was? Obviously, we were attacked, but was this a planned terrorist attack or a protest? And you know why she said this? Why she told the American people?
Why?
Because the committee got the nail on the head. Because this was a few days before the election, right? 2012 for Obama. Right before it. And Libya was supposed to be this whole big, amazing thing, this new foreign policy, all this helping out with the Obama administration. But when it's a terrorist attack that happened, that's a failure. Libya is a failure. Benghazi and Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State failed. That will definitely hurt the Obama administration in the upcoming election.
You know what?
But if it's a protest that got out of hand, listen, you can live with that as a voter. Americans understand that, listen, sometimes people, they put their lives at risk. Sometimes stuff happens. That won't lose me the election. But failed foreign policy like this with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, that will hurt. So that's why she lied. And it's a cover-up with the Obama administration. And Obama is throwing this lady under the bus hard.
So you think it's an all big cover-up? You think
1,000%.
You think that? So you think the president has some say in this?
Absolutely.
You think the president is somehow, some way responsible for this situation?
Of course, it's his administration.
So you see, here's the thing about Barack Obama, and presidents have done this in the past, ladies and gentlemen. Presidents have done this in the past. They sit here and they try to claim what we call plausible deniability. The presidents will sit and they will try to never, ever admit to mistakes. They'll never, ever try to say to themselves something. They're going to pass it off as if, the Secretary of State signed off on it. Or the Secretary of Education signed off on it. Or this one signed off. And they're going to lie, and they're going to circumvent their way in just so that they're not caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Richard Nixon does it with the emails. Listen to me. Richard Nixon did it with the phone calls and the phone tappings in his office. Watergate. There are rumors that LBJ did it when he was recording conversations in the White House. And Democrats try to blame Barack Obama.
But Hillary Clinton continuously kept saying that, listen, it was Obama's final decision. Obama had many final decisions on certain things. And they kept trying to get Hillary to admit that she was in charge because they were talking about her convincing other ambassadors to go along with this plan, Libya, certain things get Benghazi emotional, get Stevens on the ground there. Yeah. And they're saying, well, Hillary, you did a great job convincing. This was your thing. You did great on this. And you're saying, no, it wasn't really me. It wasn't me. But listen, you're Secretary of State. You're in charge of all this. You know, if you're going to take responsibility, you have to take responsibility with the definition of the word, not just what you want to feel it says.
Yeah, but I want to go back to the President Obama thing because I was a little distracted. My computer was acting up. So now that we're back on track, the presidents try to claim plausible deniability. They never want to ever sign off on something. They try to pass it off to somebody else. So in case something goes down, it's not their fault. Fast and Furious, Eric Holder got the bill. You take something like Iran-Contra, and Democrats blamed Ronald Reagan. Benghazi, and now Hillary Clinton's probably biting the bullet. So at the end of the day, where does the president fall in any of this stuff? Is the president ever directly responsible? What exactly is going on? Who is telling the truth here? Is anybody telling the truth? Now, we cannot confirm and we cannot deny that President Obama was somehow, some way involved in this issue. But honestly, if you have Susan Rice is going around on Sunday morning talk shows talking about this, don't you think that President Obama must have been briefed? That the State Department didn't talk to the White House? That interns or whatever haven't been talking around Capitol Hill and messages are going back and forth about the Libya situation? You mean to tell me nobody knew about this but Hillary Clinton and the State Department? It was only confined to just one single agency in the government? I find it hard to believe. And I'm not the one to spew out conspiracy theories, but at the end of the day, you got to find the logic here. And it only makes logical sense if this information of this magnitude was passed up the supply of command, or the chain of command.
Well, check this out, because we know that the Clintons and Obamas do not like each other.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Blumenthal, who most of the emails were to and from with Hillary. Most of her emails found were to this guy Blumenthal. He had business dealing with in Libya, private business apparently, and he wanted to work with the White House and this administration for the State Department, and Obama did not allow it.
Right.
He said this guy cannot work with us. However, he basically became an advisor to Hillary Clinton, and Trey Gowdy was questioning her on this and she was saying that he's not my advisor. Well, most of the emails back and forth were between these two, and he said, were these unsolicited emails? She said yes. Then he said, well, why all these emails, you asking him for more information and tell me more? And she's like, oh no, it started as unsolicited, and then it progressed from there. Then I was asking questions, this and it was going in circles. She kept flip-flopping, and he was catching her in the lie. And the best part is Blumenthal, we don't know who really wrote these emails. Because his sources, they don't know what the source is. Hillary does not know exactly who's writing these emails. Who's this guy? He's not working for the State Department. So you have somebody aiding the Secretary of State.
Maybe he got crossed up on her private, because she only had one cell phone, so maybe it just got crossed up on her private email. Maybe it was one of those. I bet you know who Blumenthal is? He's a swinger. I bet you he's a swinger, and Bill Clinton takes Blumenthal's wife and goes to town. That's what I'm telling you. The story is, Vito. That's what I think.
Unbelievable.
Conspiracy of the night. Dun-dun-dun. I'm telling you. But you got to look at the situation at itself. Hillary Clinton's going around talking to everybody and their mother on her emails and never really trying to redirect this information towards the CIA actively trying to help the situation in Benghazi. After help was requested, help was denied. Numerous amounts of times to Ambassador Chris Stevens. U.S. diplomat Sean Smith's mother came out today on Fox News and said, Hillary Clinton is a liar. She's lying. Excuse me, CNN, not Fox News. Sean Smith's mother, another patriot who died in Benghazi, came out today on CNN and said Hillary Clinton is lying. A presidential candidate lying to the faces of the American people.
Shocker. And it's disgusting how she kept blaming Stevens. Blaming these people, pushing the blame. Yeah, she says she takes full responsibility.
Right.
So try that one.
I mean, it's to me, it just shows you the character or the lack of a moral decency in a person. It shows me their character. If you're not able and willing to tell the truth, if you're not able and willing to do the job, and then you go about and lie about it, lives have been lost. Families have been destroyed. And a country is in turmoil trying to find out the truth. Why didn't you send help? And you know what, Hillary Clinton? You want to blame everybody else. You want to blame everyone but yourself. Why didn't you fire people in the State Department because it got so out of hand? Why didn't you fire people because you thought it wasn't up to par to your standards? Why didn't you fire people after Benghazi?
Because she knew what was going on herself.
She knew what was going on, unless she was going to fire herself, which she wasn't going to do. She let this get out of control, and now she's got to make her bed and lie in it. Another big issue I want to hit on, Vito, is that Hillary Clinton also decided, after being questioned by various members of the committee, and it was basically proven today, that Hillary Clinton said to herself and her State Department team, they need to come up with security tests at all these different consulates and embassies around the world and try to screen all these areas to make sure that they were safe for Americans and American ambassadors and stuff like that. And by her own standards that she and the State Department set up, when she went out to analyze all these different consulates and embassies, Benghazi came back as moderately safe, not so safe. And you needed more help there. You needed to get people there to protect the American consulate there. And she continued to turn down requests for help.
And the best part is at the hearing today, she said that she sent extra security after Stevens was missing.
So you wait until blank hits the fan, and then you decide to do the work? You decide to you decide not to send in help when it's needed. And then when stuff finally hits the fan, you say, let's go ahead and bring in the troops. I mean, just think of the logic behind what this woman is thinking. Now imagine her as President of the United States with her pantsuit on, running around, trying to corral votes in order to get people to vote for her and her initiatives. Imagine her trying to defeat ISIS. Imagine her trying to deal with Russia. Imagine her trying to deal with China. Just you want to talk about Barack Obama being an embarrassment to this country on the world stage and on the domestic front. Just imagine how bad Hillary Clinton's going to be. Putin is, like Donald Trump says, Putin is laughing right now. He wants Hillary because he's going to eat her up alive. And that's embarrassing.
In the beginning, the opening statements for Hillary Clinton, she kept trying to tie the big saying that, under Bush administration, we've had these attacks. Clinton under these attacks. Going back decades, every president's administration, how embassies have been attacked. We've lost American lives. She even had statistics and numbers. But here's the thing. This is the first time we lost an ambassador since 1979. This is also when Hillary Clinton lied to the American people saying that it was not a terrorist attack. It was over a YouTube video. Okay? This is a cover-up. This is not just an attack. This is why there's an investigation, and this is why Hillary Clinton should be in prison in 2016.
Oh, I think
not
so.
the White House.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think the woman should be in prison. But now what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen now moving forward? Is Hillary honest? You think she's going to go to jail? You think they're going to lock her up? I mean, honestly, it's a good question. It's a fierce question. I want to know, it's a powerful question. Is Hillary Clinton going to jail? Honestly, I don't think so. It's too political over there.
I'd love to see it.
I would love to see it, but it ain't going to happen.
Trey Gowdy's in charge of this, and he's leaving Congress after this.
Yeah, so
what does he have to lose?
It's a tough issue. If Trey Gowdy goes and we lose a powerful soldier in the conservative libertarian movement,
so
it's going to
do
be
the Democrats.
Wow.
Hillary Clinton?
Oh, in terms of she goes to jail. I don't know if she'll go to jail, Vito. I think a lot of people are hoping she goes to jail. She should. I don't think she will. Also, you got to go ahead and pinpoint something to this woman. You got to say, look, Hillary, you failed automatically. And you broke a law, so you're going to jail. Did she do a terrible job as Secretary of State? Yeah. I mean, can you pinpoint a law that you could convict her with? It's a tough issue. I think all the circumstantial evidence points towards Hillary Clinton and a cover-up. Yes, but at the end of the day, in a court of law, is it going to pass? Is it going to hold? I don't think so.
We'll see what Trey Gowdy comes up with.
Will this hurt her? I think this is a more plausible option or more plausible scenario. Is her 2016 chances hurt because of this?
Absolutely.
You think so? I think Democrats are too stupid to open their eyes to look at the truth.
A few.
You're going to see. A few. No way. I think a majority of Democrats are going to say this has nothing to do with anything. This is all political.
This is what's going to hurt. It's a few people are going to see and decide. I'm not going to say they're going to vote for the Republican, but I think it's going to help them with Bernie Sanders.
I think this is only going to help and strengthen Bernie because
which only helps the conservatives then.
Well, I would say so too. I say if Bernie gets the nomination, we win. But I mean, you take a look at the Democratic Party, when Bernie Sanders says that we don't care about your damn emails, I sure as hell do. You sure as hell do. If you're listening, you sure as hell do. But Democrats don't. The room went wild when they're like, oh, great, we can get away with the crime. They don't want to investigate this woman. This is their powerhouse. This is their power horse. They don't want this. They don't want to take her down. They don't want to rip her apart. They want Hillary Clinton in the White House, the Democratic establishment, and they're going to do everything in their power to get this woman there, even if it means 4 Americans going to die in the process. What type of a government leader is that? When Americans have to die just so that you can get a position of power.
to push through your political agenda.
It's disgusting.
She's a terrible Secretary of State. How the hell can she manage Commander-in-Chief?
You hit the nail right on the head. And that, my friend, is the issue. That's what's going to confront us here. Trey Gowdy's doing a great job, did a great job. And hopefully as time keeps going on and more stuff keeps coming out and more emails keep being revealed, we can finally see just what exactly is going down there up in Gaza. But until then, Hillary's going to go ahead and write this off as a political move. And it's not even going to bother her. I think Democrats are too stupid, too ignorant, too dumb, too lazy to look at the facts and to look at the truth. To try to piece together some logic and try to say, yes, Hillary Clinton, you are responsible. Hillary Clinton, you're not qualified to be president of the United States. How could you have this woman Vito as president?
And helping her case with the people who are saying that this is just a witch hunt is their good friend McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy's another one, another schmuck. Like Trey Gowdy says, shut up, stop talking. And all these Rhino Republicans open their mouth talking about how the Benghazi Committee is directly correlated. There we go. That's the word we were looking for.
So you're
correlated to Hillary's drop in the polls. So effectively, all these rhinos are Kevin McCarthy. They love saying how these things are connected. In reality, baby,
they're Democrats.
What are you doing? I don't care if Hillary Clinton's poll numbers go down. You think Trey Gowdy gives a damn? None of us care about our poll numbers. I care about the truth. You care about the truth. We all care about the truth.
You know what I find interesting?
What do you find interesting?
How you'll say schmuck on air, but you won't say shit.
And why'd you say that? I think that's one of the 7 curse words you can't say on radio.
Shit?
You shut up, okay?
But schmuck is fun. We gotta look up the list.
We'll look it up.
Let's go to break. I'll look up the list.
We're going to break. When we return here to the Vito and Vito show, we got a special guest calling in, right, Vito?
Yeah.
Who do we have?
Josh Siegel.
Josh Siegel.
Reporter from the Daily Caller.
Oh, Daily Signal.
Signal.
Again, one of the most unprepared co-hosts in the history of radio. Vito and Vito talking about Paul Ryan's speaker bid. It's going to be huge. He's been covering the race extensively. He's going to give us a call in a little bit right here on the Vito and Vito show. Forget about it, Moments of the Week and Twitter fan when we return here to Vito.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
So what is behind enemy lines anyway?
This is the true story of 2 friends living in the People's Republic of New York City who work together and have their conversations taped to find out what happens when conservatives stop being politically correct and start getting real. We are Behind Enemy Lines. Watch your wallets. Thursdays at 1 on WNJC, part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
And we're back here to the Vito and Vito show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. And give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. Bringing you the best in conservative talk. Again, self-identified. Give ourselves a pat in the back.
I second that, Vito. Don't worry.
Oh, good. I'm happy you do. I'm happy you do. I'm happy somebody loves me. Hey, it's been a hell of a show. It's been a hell of a show. Hillary Clinton we're talking about. And now we're moving over to Paul Ryan, just recently announcing that he's running for Speaker of the House. This rhino. That's right. He's a rhino.
Who's going to bring together all the conservatives.
Yeah, all right. Come on.
Shining star.
Get out of here. Look, we got a special guest calling in just a little bit. Jeff Siegel from the Daily Signal. That his name? Is that who he is?
Josh.
Josh?
The most unprepared co-host of all time.
But he's got an awesome article up on the Daily Signal. We're going to talk about it. But right now, let's bring him in. Josh Siegel, reporter from the Daily Caller.
Signal.
Daily Signal. Oh, Vito, you're just a mess. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Hi. How are you?
What's up, Josh? Welcome to the Vito and Vito show. We've been struggling with your name, pal, and the website you write for. We keep saying the Daily Caller, the Daily Vito. We're struggling here, bud. So do us a favor, set the record straight, because we don't want to be like Hillary Clinton. We want to tell the truth. Tell us what you write for.
So my name is Josh Siegel, and I work for the Daily Signal. You were close, though, definitely.
Thank you. We kept correcting each other, and it took forever. But we finally got him here. All right, Josh, here's the story. The Speaker of the House race. Paul Ryan jumping in. His bid for Speaker starts now. It's official. He's running. You've been covering this. Break it down for us. You've been covering this much more than we have. So tell us, what are the ins and outs of this, and why the hell is he running now?
Well, he's running now because John Boehner and Kevin McCarthy, once he dropped out, recruited him very hard, and there was a general consensus in the majority of the party that Paul Ryan was the only one who can get 218 votes, which is required to become Speaker of the House. That would be the majority of the full House, that number. And, basically what it came down to is when Ryan earlier this week said, yes, I'm interested, but he put forward some concessions that he would like to see from people. He put out some demands, and basically he was looking for what he called unity, and he was looking for the three major caucuses within the House Republican conference to endorse him. And basically that was most people took that as kind of a direct shot at the House Freedom Caucus, which is this 40 or so members, a very most conservative group in the House. And they've really kind of developed a lot of notoriety through the Speaker race because they are the ones who really got the ball rolling with Speaker Boehner, retiring earlier than he wanted to. And then McCarthy, they refused to endorse McCarthy, and that's the biggest reason why he dropped out. So basically Ryan's like, hey, if you all are on board, then I'm not going to do this. And what happened was they didn't full-fledged endorse Ryan. It was kind of clever what happened. I don't know if they planned it this way because by House Freedom Caucus rules, they need 80% of members to endorse anyone. It has to be 4/5 of the caucus, and basically they reached the 70% number, which is a lot. I mean, there's only about 10 or so who did not vote for Paul Ryan in their internal vote. So, but basically, that was all. That was enough for Paul Ryan. I mean, that's way more than McCarthy had. And, Paul Ryan, the Freedom Caucus, although they have individuals who won't back Paul Ryan, I mean, I think 70% does a lot. And Ryan announced tonight that, that was enough for him. So that was the last hurdle for him.
Well, I want to know if there's any concessions that have been made. I want to know if the House Freedom Caucus is bending over backwards to give Ryan what he wants. Because like you said, he's only going to take the job. He's only going to run if concessions have been made in his favor. I want to know what concessions Ryan has to make to get the support of the Freedom Caucus, if there's any. Because if there's not, then these conservatives in the House Freedom Caucus let us down big.
No, they. It looks from the members I've spoken to, a number of members over the last few days. We've been following the Freedom Caucus before anyone knew who they were. So, we're pretty close ties with these guys. Basically, they actually say that Paul Ryan did, although he wasn't completely specific. I mean, they rave about Daniel Webster, this underdog guy who really had no shot. But he kind of was more specific, I guess, with the process reforms they're looking for. But Paul Ryan did commit to, the House really looking at the rules and making sure that there's more of a bottom-up approach, speaker doesn't have as much power. Committees are more evenly distributed, where it's not all about seniority, and that people can become committee chairman without being there 25 years and being close to the leadership. And actually, he did. It came out today. A couple of members confirmed this for me. He did. Paul Ryan did concede on one very important item for the Freedom Caucus, which is this tool called the motion to vacate the chair, which is a way for lawmakers to basically vote to remove the speaker from his position if they don't think he's doing a good job. And the threat of that was what inspired Boehner to retire early, because Mark Meadows, one of the Freedom Caucus board members, he filed this motion to vacate the chair, which hadn't been used in a number of years. And Paul Ryan, when he announced that he was looking to run, he said that, hey, I don't want that threat over me like that. I don't want to deal with that. But it turns out that he told the Freedom Caucus that he will he'll not look to change. He'll keep that rule, and they'll be allowed to use that, for the time being. He wants to address it and change it, basically make it harder, make the voting threshold harder for that to occur, but he doesn't want to outright eliminate it, which was kind of what people thought he meant when he initially said, hey, this motion to vacate the chair is a little much for me. So that was big, I think.
Well, before Paul Ryan jumped in, everybody thought McCarthy was going to be the next speaker, but I want to know from you, why did McCarthy drop out? Because here on the show, Vito was saying the guy's having an affair or something, all these conspiracies, but from where you're standing, why did McCarthy drop out?
I think the Benghazi comments definitely played a role, and I think that the Freedom Caucus, because this Freedom Caucus, they have about 40 members, so that if they vote as a block and say, okay, we're going to take our 40 votes and put them with someone else, which is what they had said that they would do with Daniel Webster, then that's enough to prevent. You can't get 218, which is the number you need. So basically, he couldn't win. And even if he did if somehow some of these members changed their mind at the last second or whatever, he felt like he was at a point where it would be such a weak number that it was like, I'm already going into this with people against me. So the fact that Paul Ryan has now gotten this group on board, and I mean, he'll have more than enough 218 is a sign of this conference. Really, I believed in what the vision that Paul Ryan put forth in the last few days.
Yeah, but now let me ask you this, Josh. I mean, conservatives are really not keen on Paul Ryan. I mean, the guy has a 55% rating score from the Heritage Foundation scorecard. So he has a history of voting for bailouts. He has a history of voting against immigration reform in conservative interest, which is my argument is immigration reform is actually following the law. So the guy is not what conservatives want. So what is it that the Freedom Caucus? What are you hearing? Why do they do a bad face on this? Why are they not fighting for maybe a more conservative speaker? Is there a more conservative option out on the floor?
No, they've made it clear that they don't. This is a line they've used this entire process. They've been consistent with it. They don't care about the person. They care about the process. They don't believe. They did not. Daniel Webster, the only other candidate in the race, actually has a very centrist voting record like Paul Ryan does. He supports has voted to support immigration reform, before. So they're not, all that different in as far as their record. So that they've made a point of saying that it's not about how conservative the person is, because they think if they can get more power and that there's more rank and file ability to put forth amendments on the floor and to have a say in legislation before it just, shows up on the floor, then they think that that's a way to get more conservative policies through. And the realities of the situation are that there's just they don't have the ability they don't have the power yet to put forth one of their own to actually run for speaker, because they couldn't get the votes, and they know that. I mean, they've acknowledged that. So there was really no way to get a more conservative speaker, or at least, in their eyes, because that person could not get enough votes in the conference. So it was kind of a matter and also the fact that they think that process right now is more important than the person. So that's the way they see it.
Well, I see where they're coming from, but I mean, if we're talking about strong processes here, I don't think Paul Ryan is a guy that is exactly on the side of the of pushing forth a strong process candidate, someone who's going to tie entitlement reform to a debt ceiling increase or go toe-to-toe with Obama. I mean, he has a history of writing deals with Patty Murray and Democrats that get the Boehner seal of approval. So I see what the Freedom Caucus is doing, but I just certainly hope, something is written in stone if Paul Ryan is going to be Speaker, something where you have a strong conservative leadership. Otherwise, I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be big trouble for the conservative movement, the libertarian movement, moving the country forward. Josh, where can we follow you on social media? Where can we read more of your stuff? And where social media, anything? YouTube videos, special things. Where can we find you?
So I've got a clever little Twitter handle at Siegel Scribe, SIEGEL Scribe. That's where you can find me on Twitter. And as far as reading my stuff, you can go on dailysignal.com. We started about a year and a half ago. We're a startup, but we're doing big things on Capitol Hill. And if you just want to search for my stuff, you would just kind of click on my name, Josh Siegel, SIEGEL, and we'll continue to be covering the Freedom Caucus closely and see what happens now with Paul Ryan likely to be a speaker next week. We'll find out for sure next week.
Thank you, Josh. Josh Siegel, guys, from the Daily Signal.
I think we got it right this time, Vito. Thanks, Josh.
I wrote it down.
There you go. Thanks, Josh, for calling in.
Thank you.
And there he was, Josh Siegel, writer, reporter, guy. No, but he gave us some insight. He gave us some insight. Writer for the Daily Signal. Again, Josh Siegel. Got it. All right, cool. But no, he gave us some insight, and I thought it was interesting when he spoke about how the Freedom Caucus knows that Daniel Webster's not conservative or not conservative enough. His voting record isn't strong. They know that Paul Ryan's not a strong conservative. But at the end of the day, dude, process matters. They got to get someone that's going to tie entitlement reform to the debt ceiling increase, someone that's going to force a vote in reconciliation in terms of Obamacare, someone that's going to fight the president in his last year in office just so that we know there are conservatives fighting for conservative principles. It's a valid point. It's a strong point. Paul Ryan's not that guy, but I want to know just how strong the Freedom Caucus is. If they're going to endorse this guy, how strong of a process is the Freedom Caucus looking for? What did they get? What concessions did Paul Ryan make to get the speakership? Because if he didn't make any concessions and the House Freedom Caucus failed, I'm so dissatisfied, I'll probably leave the country. I'm not leaving, I'm joking. But I'll probably leave the Republican Party because that shows to me spinelessness. Show me the concessions made. I want to see it in the coming months, but I'm not very happy with the Freedom Caucus. They could have done much better, in my opinion. They could have held out for more. Like Donald Trump says, walk away from the bad deals. Like, this Vito and Vito thing is a bad deal. I'm walking away, Vito.
Unbelievable.
It's that time of the week again, Vito. That time of the week again. It is Forget About It Moments of the Week.
Forget about it? Forget about it. Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it.
That's right. Forget About It Moments of the Week here on the Vito and Vito Show. We break down some of the craziest moments in the world, politics, some crazy stuff. We break it all down for you. Vito's cracking up. Vito is cracking up. Go ahead, Vito. What's the first? Twitter. My God. What is the first Forget About It moment of the week?
From Yahoo. The China Communist Party has banned all its members from having extravagant eating and drinking, improper sexual relations, and golf.
Nothing like communists, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Barack Obama would have kill himself if he could play golf.
No sex, drinking, or golf. What the hell is a man to do?
I don't know.
Not
See,
go to
this
China.
is what happens when you have communists running the world.
That's the main problem.
That's the problem. Communists run the world. They run China. You can't golf. You can't drink. You can't have sex. What's the point of living? What's the point? If I can't boink, what's the point? There you go. That's good. If I can't boink, what's the point? Vito, second Forget About It moment.
From the Washington Post.
Washington.
The Secret Service was found sleeping on the job. 2 Secret Servicemen were found sleeping.
Wow. Why?
Why? 'Cause they're tired, Vito.
What have they been doing? This hooker thing is still going on? Remember how the Secret Service was caught with a bunch of hookers?
In Colombia?
Yeah, I
They're
remember
supposed to do
that.
like a coke thing, and they're like, let's get some hookers.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Remember the thing in the elevator a couple years ago with Obama? Like some guy just was hanging out with a handgun next to the president in an elevator?
Yes, I do.
The Secret Service is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
they're deliberately bad. Like, let's get this guy
You
out.
should read a book called Inside the Secret Service. A bunch of Secret Service agents got together. They wrote a book. The author's name escapes me, but the book is titled Inside the Secret Service, where they basically give you secrets on all the presidents. LBJ used to sit on his ranch, and then you sit there naked.
Didn't he name his penis?
Bare-ass naked. He named his penis Jumbo. And there was a saying by the Secret Service that says, when LBJ comes to ranch, the bulls hang their heads in shame. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And that Gerald Ford would ask the Secret Service to pay for newspapers, and he would never pay them back.
What?
President of the United States, can you pay for my newspaper? I'll pay you back later. Yeah, sure, man, yeah. Nothing.
The president.
The president. Here's another fun tidbit.
Ripped off by the president.
Jimmy Carter, you know how Jimmy Carter used to wake up early in the morning and walk into the White House in the Oval Room to show that he's working in the Oval Office, and
he's doing something.
At studious at like 5 in the morning and 4 in the morning. He used to wake up, cameras would see him. It was all a ploy, Secret Service says. They said Jimmy Carter, would wake up and walk across to the Oval Office. You'd have to see this whole big ceremony of the president walking in the morning, snapping pictures with the press. But he'd walk in the Oval Office and fall asleep and wake up around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about it. What's the next one?
Your hero.
Okay.
George W.
Well, not anymore after this. Not anymore after this.
Talking about Ted Cruz says, I don't like the guy.
Unbelievable. Now, he was at a campaign event for Jeb Bush, and he was talking, or it was like a informal campaign event. Either way, he was talking about Jeb and the 2016 race, and he went ahead and said he does not like Ted Cruz. He says he doesn't like Ted Cruz. Here's the story, George. You increased the debt in this country tremendously. You pushed forth Medicare Part D, which expanded Medicare. You passed and pushed No Child Left Behind, which expanded the Department of Education. You, sir, for the little bit good that you did in fighting radical Islam, you, sir, are an ass. To say that Ted Cruz, you don't like him because he's pushing against the grain in Washington? Are you kidding me? See, the problem with the Bush family is they don't want to push up against the grain because they are the grain.
Yeah,
they don't like the opposition.
Look at them. Bush. The family.
Yeah.
They are the establishment. They are the Bush Clintons. This is what we're fighting. So obviously, Cruz is Jeb Bush's biggest rival. You know, the establishment, the conservative. Why in the world would W like Cruz?
But I find it funny because George W. Bush ran as a conservative. The man ran as someone who's a cowboy and sticking to his guns. And no, Jeb is different. Jeb is not running as a conservative. He says he's a conservative, but he's running as a moderate. He's running as someone that's going to, again, like Paul Ryan, bridge whatever he wants to bridge. Bridge two paths to hell. Either way, you have someone like George W. Bush in 2000 ran as a conservative. He ran opposite John McCain. He ran as a staunch conservative. Look at the work he did in Texas. He did a pretty good job. In 2004, he tried running as a moderate, switched up to become a conservative again so he could win the electorate. George W. Bush ran as a conservative but governed like a moderate. I would even argue he governed like a Democrat. And if you read his biography, Decision Points, it's all about him talking about how he has to make deals with Democrats, how he has to make deals with the other side, how compromise is a virtue. But I continue to argue this over and over again. The minute you start compromising on your basic principles, you're nothing. You're a loser. You lost all your fight. What's the point of sending you to Washington if you're going to concede? That's not the point of a politician. Ted Cruz is completely different. Ted Cruz is someone who is actually going to sit on the floor on the Senate and scream and yell until he sees something done. He's the guy that's going to bring attention to these constitutional issues that the Bush family doesn't want to. He's the guy that's going to call out moderate Republicans. He's going to call out establishment Republicans. He's going to call up the House of Representatives Freedom Caucus and try to get things done that way as opposed to going through leadership. He's going to call out Democrats. He's going to fight hard. He's completely different. He is not your average politician. He is a new type of politician. And the problem here is that George W. Bush sees this as a threat to him. He sees this as a threat to the Bush family, and even says it. He says, watch out for Ted Cruz. That man's got something. He's going to put up a fight in the South. An article from Politico said.
No, he's a threat.
He is a threat because he's committed to his principles and he's constitutionally a conservative. I've always argued this as well. Ted Cruz, as strong as he is hurting right now because of the Trump factor. Trump wasn't in the race. I guarantee you Cruz would be first. That anti-establishment grain, that's the guy. That is your anti-establishment grain. And who knows what the story is with Trump. Maybe he might drop out. I mean, I know there's rumors circulating saying if Trump drops, the support's going to Cruz. Who knows?
I hope so.
I certainly hope so. But, I mean, if you look
at Carson.
But if you look at consistency and you look at those who are constitutionally bound, Cruz is the strongest one in that whole field. Ben Carson today said he wants to use the Department of Education to attack political biases, extreme political biases in schools. Come on, Ben, come on. I mean, that's not
just abolish the Federal Department of Education.
And that's what we should do. In the mold of Ronald Reagan, where we fought tooth and nail, came this close, an inch close, to abolishing the Department of Education. Couldn't get it done because of Democrats and even establishment Republicans, but came this close. That's the fight I want to see. That's the fight millions of Americans want to see. They're tired of this Washington, D.C. nonsense. They're tired of the lying in Benghazi. They're tired of this nonsense from the Bush family. They want to see change. Why do you think Trump's leading? Why do you think Bernie Sanders is bringing about an entire revolution? They want to see change. People want to see a difference. Vito, final thoughts.
Hillary Clinton is a crook, is a disgusting human being. Watching her up there during the hearing today lie, God, it's just disgusting. I don't want to talk about it anymore. President Obama, this is a cover-up. We know Benghazi is a cover-up. We see what happened. The emails are showing and surfacing. Trey Gowdy is my hero.
Sure.
I wish he could run for Speaker of the House, but instead we're going to see with Paul Ryan, this rhino. And I hope the Freedom Caucus does not go along with this. We're going to see what concession they try to make. This backdoor deal.
I want to see as well. I certainly want to see the backdoor concessions that the House Freedom Caucus tries to make. But Hillary Clinton's a crook, ladies and gentlemen. She's Nixon Part 2. This is the woman that is responsible for the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi. This is the woman where Sean Smith's mother, a U.S. diplomat that died in Benghazi, went on CNN this morning, right before the committee hearings, and said Hillary Clinton is a liar. A liar. This woman is running for president of the United States. If you somehow think that this woman is going to bring about a revolution, change, is going to put the country back on track, regardless of their political ideology, let's just talk about their character. This woman has the character of a wet mop. She's disgusting. She should be ashamed of herself. And frankly, God bless Trey Gowdy, the guy who's up there fighting tooth and nail against this woman. Because people like this need to be checked immediately at the door. People like this is the problem in government, and we need more fighters like Trey Gowdy. President Obama, I can't say if there is a connection between the Benghazi situation and President Obama, but I'm telling you right now, this is some scary stuff. Some scary stuff going on. And until Barack Obama, there's a smoking gun there, which connects the president to Hillary Clinton to Benghazi. We're just going to have to keep digging and keep finding out. There's more than meets the eye. The Vito and Vito Show. Check us out, www.vitoandvito.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. Here, the Vito and Vito Show, signing off from the basement of the Empire State Building.
Because we can't afford the first floor.
The Vito and Vito Show in Brooklyn.
It's nothing but the truth.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.